DJUTV, let them know who we got in the building.
Yeah, man, it's your boy PK, man, Pimpin Ken, man, Milwaukee's finest, the Royal Highness, the best ever did to get away with it, man. I'm in my town, my city, where I was born, Cook County, on Harrison, man, Pimpin Ken, Jack.
Pimpin Ken, what you on, gang?
Hey, man, I'm just on, man, airplanes and white bitches. That's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? Chicago style, man, West Side, South Side, we out the best side, everybody. The whole family, the whole city, man. I'm here for representing the whole city.
Well, welcome to DJUTV. Welcome back home to Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Let the folks know who you got on the couch with you.
Man, I got two real for TV, 414. I got my out of there, Dre. This my artist, man. He been rock with me. Y'all might have seen him on K Slay on Hot 97 Ed Level show. He been rock with me. This my homie. I'm working out management situation with him. He got one of the hottest influential things going on called it Check This Out, Boss. You might have seen him on. He got millions and millions of streams throughout the cyber world.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I'm definitely grateful to have all three of you gentlemen here with us this evening. We see Pimpin Ken spitting the game and all type of different sorts in his interviews. So to have him on our couch today is a blessing for sure.
Thank you, my brother.
So we want to get to know the Pimpin Ken story though. Can you start by telling us where you're from?
Well, my mama now came up here from Oxford, Mississippi. My daddy was a country boy. He came up here during the Great Migration. And when they migrated, they was really young, So my father, he didn't really have no job, so he had to hustle. So my daddy shot cricket dice, and he was a pool shark, So, that's how we got to Chicago. And, we stayed at the Robert Taylor Projects for a minute. Then we moved out to 103rd and Jeffrey. I think when I was really young, my mama said we stayed on the west side off of Pulaski. So I can remember growing up, going to Catholic school, private school, St. Mary's, because my mama, she didn't trust Chicago's public school system back then. You had the L. Rookers and the Gates and Disciples. It was crazy back then, Everybody was trying to find themselves, so they were trying to shelter us because they were some country people. But my father ended up, hanging out with all the hustlers and players. He ended up getting in the gang, hanging out on Madison, West Side, shooting them cricket dice, and my Uncle Greasy. Then when I got about 14, I caught attempted murder. Me and my brother used to hustle. We used to go to Jewtown. I don't know if y'all remember Jewtown. That was way back, before the day.
Where was Jewtown?
Remember Briars used to sell all the slick clothes and shit over there on Roosevelt?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's called a Jewtown back in the
west.
day. So we used to go there and get the slum jewelry.
Okay.
So we get them fake gold chains. Me and my brother go from Madison all the way. We take it all, go all the way to Oak Park, just hustling. So this one particular time, we was out in Oak Park, and this white dude was drunk, and he was talking crazy to my brother. So my brother pushed him. Back then, they call it the third rail. So if you push somebody on the L, you can get attempted murder because if you touch all three rails, it'll electrocute you. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we was in the Cook County, and when we first came there, Brother Finney, he was an L Rookie, you know what I'm saying? He embraced us in black. He was a gangster disciple. So they looked out for me and my little brother, me and my older brother. They knew we was young, but my daddy was abusive, so he used to beat us with extension cords. So we didn't want to tell them who we really was, because I'd rather go to the Cook County, which is the Division 2 in the old jail, was crazy, than to go talk to my pops. You know what I'm saying? So we thugged it out for about 3 months. The judge dropped the case because, after they looked at the cameras, they seen the dude was tripping anyway. He was tripping. He found he was tripping with everybody else. But we had to stay in the Cook County for 3 months, man, at that age. And, I don't know how brothers play it now, but back then, folks had their own tray, the brother Five Alive, they had their own tray. And the Mexican called Latin Kings and Spanish Cobra. So everybody had their own tray. So if you're a new tribe, which I was neutral, you eat last. So,
Right.
I mean, I'm sitting here for 3 months, we had to wait, and we end up eating rice and probably pinto beans or some fucking string beans. That's how they played it back then. But like I said, we got cool with brother Finney. He was an L Rookin brother. You know what I'm saying? They started looking out for us, and every time they would go to war. It seemed like every 2 months it'd be 5 against the 6. You know what I'm saying? They get the bops and all that stuff. And the police, they call it 6-1. So that means 6 guards to every 1 inmate. Okay. So they get to fighting, and they be like, "Hey man, y'all little niggas go to y'all room. Y'all go to y'all room." So me and my brother go to that room. We hide up in they had the little bunk bags. We had, it's like a steel. You can hide up on it. So we had up and they pow, 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 and going crazy. And then the police would come in 6-1, and they just get to beating everybody. And the police was crazy back then. County jail was crazy. So once I got out of that kind of was traumatic. Then my mom was like, "Y'all got to get out of here. Chicago's too crazy." We moved to Milwaukee. As soon as I get to Milwaukee, I called a case. And I'm in the reformatory school there. So I'm saying like my whole life was just in and out of jail, from 14 to, until I finally got some goddamn common sense. Right. But we had, my partner JD, we had, we used to, ride the dirt bikes and hang out, when we lived in the projects, I had I remember a lot of little kid friends and shit. It was a lot of coke, a lot of heroin back then. So a lot of people, a lot of junkies used to be hanging out in the hallways, nodding and tripping and shit, So that was kind of like my childhood, but that kind of shaped me to be the person that I am. My daddy being a player, going to Cook County jail early, learning, because, it was a lot of players too, back in Chicago back then. Finney was a 3-top. He showed me how to do the 3-top game and, and how to hustle.
Tell them about that game, because people be getting finesse with that game.
Oh, yeah, man. It's a cold game, man. You know what I'm saying? Now,
I didn't get finesse with that game before.
Yeah. I finessed a lot of niggas. I used to ride up and down on the L. Once I got out, man, Finney give me the game. I'd be on the L. I'd be, shaking the P. They call it shaking the P or throwing the red card. And, it's a game that if you play it, you got to know. You know what I'm saying? If you try to take somebody's money and you got larceny in your heart, and you trying to beat the next man, you know what I'm saying? If you get beat, you know what I'm saying? That's because you were trying to beat somebody else. That's all I can tell you. Right. I can't get into details because there's a lot of niggas still play that game. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Shout out to all my niggas that still play it, you know what I'm saying?
No, but so, it's one thing I heard you mention that I can also relate to was being what they call a neutron when you were in jail. So for those that's listening and watching, a neutron is a guy that's not related to any gang in the jail. And that's something I always was proud of myself. I've always been neutral, right? Yeah. So can you tell us what kept you away from, joining gangs in Chicago?
Well, the crazy thing, was my daddy was a player. So my first introduction to life was game. So my daddy teach me how to shoot pool and telling me, this is how you set them up. This is how you play. You know what I mean? My daddy, we got craps. We learned how to shoot craps. So we looked at everybody else that wasn't in that game, that didn't have that knowledge that my father was giving. We looked at them as no disrespect. And I ain't saying no gang members, no suckers, but we looked at everybody as suckers. If you didn't have the knowledge that we had, the game, then we look at you as sucker. So, I didn't want to be involved. We call that, man, I'm not finna ride with these niggas, man. These niggas, man, they jumping on niggas and doing this and this. Man, I'm not about that. I'm about the money. So that was my mentality. So a lot of my cousins, like I said, DJ Dagwood, I can tell you, those are my cousins. They high officials in that shit. A lot of my cousins is high officials, Baptiste, that's our family member. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of people that's in that shit, that's really into that shit. But, I was always raised as a player. But when I hung around my partners, a lot of times, I be trimming them. You know what I'm saying? I be throwing cricket dice on them. I be shaking, or have some 6-8 flats or some 8 straight 5, whatever it was at that time. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at it. Now, we was hanging out when we was a kid. We was trimming some niggas. It's a pimp nigga. He might be dead now. Named Chocolate Dice. So him and his partner, me and my older brother, we was trimming now. And we was at the Madison Hotel on Madison in California. We stayed. It was a little hoe house like hotel back in the day. All the hoes used to sell pussy up out of it. You know what I'm saying? So we was in there, and they caught us cheating. man, they chased us. And you know how, like in Chicago, got them stairways you go up and, like the apartment. So we ran all the way up the stairs and me and my brother hid in the garbage can. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas chased us, man. We was from Madison Street all down, we went all through that little way. You know what I'm saying? So, that was, my experience. But, when I was in penitentiary, right, the closest I got to join the game was the Moore Science Temple. And I like their philosophy because I believe, it teaches that you're not Negro, color, blacks, Ethiopian. Then I found out later that Jeff Ford was a Mo, and Jeff Ford ended up, bringing the El Rookins and teaching them about the Moorish science. And then they eventually went to Sunni Muslim, you know what I'm saying? They went to Orthodox Islamism, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I was, so I liked it that. But I was the Grand Sheik. I was the leader in the penitentiary. So a lot of the GDs, the Vice Lords, the Crips, and the Bloods would come and join the Moorish Science Temple. So that was the only thing I got close to doing business with them dudes, you know what I'm saying? But my family, all of them was into that. Now, I can say this for the brothers that is neutral, you know what I'm saying? It's hard being neutral going to prison. So when you go into prison and you say you got to check in them shades, you got to check in them tennis shoes, like I said, I mean, being neutral, I could have easily joined, the El Rookins with Finney or with the Black Gangs Disciple. I would have been guaranteed, an extra hot dog. I would have been guaranteed a full meal, but being neutral, I couldn't, we had to wait till all the folks and all the and the brothers eat their food.
You had to get to the end of the line.
Yeah, so we had to get to the end of the line. So that was, and then even when I was in Shelby County, after I got out the feds, I went straight to Shelby. It was a brother. He was I forget his name, but he was the governor for the gangsters up in Shelby County in Memphis, Tennessee. I could have lied. I know the lit. You know what I mean? I could have, but I stood on principle. I was like, man, I'm neutral. You know what I'm saying? And dude was like, where you from? I said, man, I'm from Milwaukee, but I was born in Chicago. He was from Chicago. Man, you good. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had black eyes and was getting beat up. You know what I'm saying? But no joke. You know what I'm saying? They gave me a pass, man. And right. I just thank God, man. I don't know how I made it, man. I'm 60 years. I don't know how I made it all these years without joining the game. I can't even tell you because all my friends is gang members. They some of the most notorious people on the planet. All the killers, all the armed robbers, all the gangsters, even in Milwaukee, they f with me. I mean, they come to my house. I gang with them niggas. The niggas never tried to rob me. He'll tell you, you know what I'm saying? I get the most respect in the town. All my niggas is East Side gangsters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they notorious, you know what I'm saying? I mean, in the town. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I never had to join it, but they always like, if a nigga talk bad about me in the penitentiary and one of them East Side gangster niggas in there, they'll whoop them right there on the spot. I just had that kind of love my entire life. I never had to join nothing. Like I said, some of my cousins, now they the biggest officials in there on the Vice Lord side and on the GD side. But I think it might be because of what my daddy taught me. I was a player. So a lot of niggas every nigga that's a gangster want to be a player. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I done robbed with niggas, that was gangsters. We done robbed banks and shit together. So dope. We did all that shit together. I mean, I was with them niggas.
Right.
I just never claimed them niggas.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But I was right there with all the shit. I ain't just Pimpin Ken. I can't just walk through the neighborhood without no guns and, with no security for nothing. I mean, I put in some work now. I ain't gonna say, like, if you fuck with me, you're in my business, I'm back in your business. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you bring, I'm gonna bring. I don't give a fuck, I had a lot of fights with Vice Lords, a lot of fights with GDs and gangsters, all kind of niggas. We didn't thumped it out, But them niggas, they always gave me a fair one. And they was always like, man, that's Ken, Yeah. And
well, it sounds like you've made it this far without joining the gang because you have a man of your own.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that join gangs, that is because they be easily influenced by others, and they be looking for acceptance from others. Yeah. Versus you sound like, man, you just want to be a player like your daddy. That's what I'm kind of.
And then all the gang niggas who come to me want to get some gang. Like a lot of my homies, mate, what I'm saying? They were straight killers. I'm like, straight killers. They be like, they be like, Ken, man, how you pimp? They be want me to show them how to get out the gang life and how to get in this pimping. Because they see me riding the Rolls Royces and the Maseratis and the Benzes all my life. You know, I've been a fly nigga from day one. You know, I had a Benz at a coupe at 16.
So when did you start pimping? At what age?
Well, one of my homeboys, he from Chicago too, Father Vine, JD. He was off of 63rd, you know what I'm saying, Stoney Island and shit. He was from that side of town. So JD came, when he came to Milwaukee, you know, we started robbing banks together first. Then we robbed a couple of jewelry stores, you know, and, you know, JD was kind of ruthless. He was a real Chicago nigga. So, you know, he pressured a few niggas too, you know. And so, you know, he was my man, and so he got out that shit, and he changed over to the pimping shit. So I go over his house one day, and I see 3 bad bitches, right? So I said, say, man, what's happening? I think we go, you know, we finna down these bitches. I said, nah, man, some pimping going on right here, man. These some hoes, right? I said, hoes? I said, for real? I said, man, I want one. He said, which one you want? I said, I want that one there, the one that's light bright, damn near white with the pussy candy stripe, that pretty yellow right there. He said, say, bitch, excuse my pimping. You with my little brother now. And, you know, that bitch dirty red. You know what I'm saying? The first bitch that ever gave me some money, man. That bitch, you know, she walked me through it, man. You know, had me in after hours at 16 and, you know, on the track late at night. You know what I'm saying? Me
How old was she?
She was 24.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a stoned down real live bitch, man, you know. And she had been with some of the top pimps, you know, Tommy Dixon, you know. Bobby Hill, you know, which was a good certified pimp out the town. And, you know, once I got her, then niggas, the older niggas in Milwaukee started fucking with me. Niggas like Star Child, that's my partner. You know, he the one gave me the ism, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew how to break the bitch. I knew that the bitch was supposed to give me money, but I didn't have the ism. So he gave me the ism. Said, man, you always understand me, man. He said, ask her where she from. Ask her what's her mama name. Ask her, you understand me, what's her favorite candy. Ask her everything. Learn everything you need to know about that hoe so you can get in that whole head. So he's the first one that gave me that game. You know what I'm saying? And then I ended up knocking him for a bitch. I knocked him for a bitch named Bridget. And then once I knocked him, then all the pimps, you know, Tommy Dixon and Wooly D and Kicking It Jack, you know, Rod Robinson, rest in peace, my nigga Sluggo. They like, that young nigga gonna be a pimp. You know, and they started letting me, Duro, Dickhead Duro, all them niggas, they started letting me come to their little after hours and hang out with them and shit, you know. And they be there blowing like, and I didn't blow. So, you know, I be just, but it was that culture of the pimping, you know, back then, you know, Sonny Page, all them niggas. I was a young nigga, man, 16, hanging with all these seasoned veteran pimp niggas from Memphis. Shout out to my nigga Memphis, my nigga CB. These niggas was pimps. So I'm a young nigga. I'm you know, it must have been my destiny or you. So I'm like, I'm around this shit, but I'm a slick talking young nigga too. So I'm popping plenty of game, and I'm the young nigga. I'm on the blade. I'm sweating all these old niggas and shit. These niggas like, oh man, this nigga here, man. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be hell. You know, and then you know them hoes. You know, them hoes was like Cadillacs. I'm a Corvette. You know, I'm fast. So you know what I mean? Them hoes wasn't getting money fast enough. I went and robbed me some more banks. I said, man, these bitches ain't. I can't do this shit. This shit too slow for me. Cause you know, I got to remember I'm on the track. We robbing jewelry stores, so all my jewelry is stolen. So I got 9, 10 ropes on. You understand me? We got lawn jeans and shit. That's like the little lawn jean boulevards and shit. You know, we got all this shit on, and we looking like we some real, like we really pimp for this shit, but we was stealing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Me and my nigga JD, but JD, he ended up just straight getting his jewelry customized and being in the game. So he, you know, he went full-fledged with it. You know what I'm saying? Me, and then nigga tried to rob him, and JD popped him. You know what I'm saying? He shot him. He ended up going to jail. Then we ended up in jail together. So we started mapping out, man, we gonna be some real pills when we come out. You know, we in jail, we is in jail. We talking about how we gonna be better criminals and shit, right? So we was in Cali Marine, and he said, he came out, he did what he said he was gonna do, man. And I came out again. I tried my hand, man, and you know, niggas. That's when the motherfucking Cubans was there. They had that work. So I got me about a key of dope from the Cubans. They were giving that shit away back then. I don't know if niggas that was in that area, they didn't know what to do with it. So they gave me a key. I didn't know what to do with the shit neither. So, you know, I ran off on the plug. You know what I'm saying? That's what they call it, right? I spent all that money. You know what I'm saying? So I got all that money from the people. That people probably still looking for me, man. I hope they watching this goddamn camera. You know what I'm saying? But I ran out with a key dope on them and end up, you know, back hustling, man. And went back to jail. So while I'm in jail, my pimp partner, they gave me my first hoe, pimping like a, you know what I'm saying? Jaguar, Benz, he got all this shit. So I'm talking to him from the jail phone, I'm calling him, and he's sending me money and shit. He's like, man, we got to do this shit right this time, Ken. So I got out the penitentiary the last time, I ain't looked back. Next thing you know, I'm pimping all over the world. You know, I'm pimping with some of the greatest pimps in the world. You know, and I mean, it kind of makes sense because one of the brothers that was pimping during the time I was pimping, named Pimpin Pope. You know, he had a son named Paper Chase, may he rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? I was in the Green Bay penitentiary. He was in Green Bay. He shot a dude named Pimpin Sam. It was a dispute over a hoe. So I'm asking him, nigga, you know, I was kind of wild back then. I was like, nigga, what the fuck you doing over here with me, nigga? You a pimp, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to him like that, and you know, he a smooth nigga, like, man, you know, all that shit, you know. So I asked him, I said, what happened? So he told me what happened. He said that Sam get him for a bitch named Rosie. So Rosie ended up being a type of bitch that was a loyal. So Rosie would, you know, light Sam's cigarette, light Polk's cigarette, you know, wipe his ass and whatever he want to do everything he want to do. He was telling me, like, he said this bitch was in pocket. So when Sam got the bitch, he said that Sam mistaked all that pimping for love. So he thought the bitch was in love with him, but really it was some pimping going on. You know what I'm saying? So Sam, you know, when he peeled the bitch back, Sam wanted to go to war. You know what I'm saying? So he shot Sam up off his Cadillac. And that's how he ended up in jail. He said, man, listen, man. He said, you got to have a triple bypass. He said, you got to go have all the sympathy removed out your heart. He said, there's no difference between the in-pocket bitch and the out-of-pocket bitch. And DJ Wu, at that point, I became a real pimp because I understood what the fuck I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I just was breaking bitches. But once I understood that it wasn't no love in this shit, and that it was strictly about breaking the bitch, and that no matter how fine the bitch is or how good the pussy is, you still got to pimp. When I came home, you know what I'm saying, it was easy for me to get all the way into the pimping. And you know what I'm saying, I had thousands, I had some of the best, prettiest bitches in the world. And I always remember what Polk said, you know, mash on that bitch, man. You know what I'm saying, don't get caught up in your feelings. And you know what I'm saying, that's how I became one of the most renowned and respected pimps in the country. You know, so by the time I meet Mr. Rick and you know, Seymour, Bishop now, you know what I'm saying? I'm already laced. My Timberland's laced. I've been all over the world by this time. But at least my homeboys, you know, they throwing players ball at the Brothers Lounge, you know, on Pulaski on the west side. You know, they like, hey man, come on, we all shopping at Mr. K's. What Mr. K's was, Rick, on 86 in Cottage Grove? Yeah, somewhere on Cottage Grove over there, Mr. K. So we getting our gators over there. I'm going over there spending $2,000-$3,000 a day. You know, it's $1,000 a pair of shoes. So I'm buying, and so I'm seeing these niggas. I'm seeing Reverend Seymour. Hey man, we got to play this ball, man, in Chicago, man. Woo woo. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So niggas playing some game over. He got $500 over. So he's a VIP. So I give $500 for the VIP. I get to the VIP. It's a steady area. I said, oh, okay, these niggas, they on some player shit. You know what I'm saying? So I go and you know, Ice-T was there. I was impressed. You know what I'm saying? And so I met Ice-T, which you know, Ice-T I'm his literary agent. You know, he signed to me, so that kind of worked out. It was a great introduction. So I thank Bishop and Mr. Rick and Brick and all the brothers from that era that, you know, introduced me to, you know, shout out to JoJo and Bert as well. They was instrumental. So that's how that pimp shit, you know, became real renowned.
Okay.
So I was talking so much shit, and I had all my hoes with me. I had my minks, my diamonds. I was the full package. So a lot of niggas in Chicago, you know, that didn't know me, you know what I'm saying? They was like, man, this nigga's a real pimp. This nigga's really pimping, you know. So they gravitated to it. They started fucking with me. So I started, you know, shout out to Dread. I started coming over here, started going on the west side with the niggas, you know, sitting out there, you know, buying Bishop some Moab. You know, Bishop love that Moab. We buy him some Moab. We chop up the pimping, you know. So we on the west side hanging out at the car wash and shit. And that's how that shit started. So the next year, I said, hey man, listen. I said, we're gonna throw a party in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? And so all the pimps from Chicago came to Milwaukee, you know, Scorpio, JoJo, Bert, you know, Rick, Ice Ray, you know, may rest in peace, King Bean. All of them came to Milwaukee. They started coming to my party. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we did it real big. We had chandeliers, big ballroom. you know what I'm saying, and everything.
Yeah.
But let me back up a little bit. That same year, HBO came back. This time they're at the east of the Rhine. This on 79th Street. So they're at the east of the Rhine, and I'm talking the shit that I was talking last year on that tape. And they like, man, we need to get you. You know, me being a player, man. I'm like, man, come to Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? I said, y'all got all this action in the shack. Come on to the mill. And so I had a store downtown, big ass store downtown, right on the block. So that motherfucker
In Milwaukee?
Yeah, Milwaukee. Yeah, right. They seen that big ass store. They said, damn, what the fuck you doing? You know, real estate and shit. You know, a lot of property. You know, I was getting a lot of whole money. I went platinum off pussy, so I was turning my whole ears into dividends. You know what I'm saying? So I was really, you know, mashing for my ration with no passion. So they seen that, and next day, you know, HBO paid for that party. Let me back up. So that party that we did, they paid for it. I got all the money. You know what I'm saying? Me, I macked on them. You know what I'm saying? Me, and I denounced HBO. And I'm gonna tell you why I denounced HBO, because it sent a lot of young black men to jail. You know what I mean? For real,
HBO sent a lot of
Pimps Up, Hoes Down was the worst thing that ever happened to the pimp in the pimp community, because it sent a lot of young African Americans to jail because they hit us with the human trafficking next.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. If you think about it, let me give you some game, right? So if you think about Scarface, right? You think about New Jack City. When they came, every nigga wanted to sew up the block. Every nigga wanted to be Scarface, right? Right after that came with the new laws. They gave niggas, you know, football numbers. You know what I mean? And they got they you know, because it was the crack, the guns, and then the laws. And then they started locking niggas up. You know what I'm saying? So they did the same thing with Pimps Up, Hoes Down. They brought your Pimps Up, Hoes Down. Did Snoop a pimp, T.I. pimp, you know, Pimp Squad clique, everybody pimping. And then right after everybody get into the pimping, they hit us with the new laws. What? The human trafficking law. So now it's a lot of niggas locked up for human trafficking. So in so many ways, I regret Pimps Up, Hoes Down. And I know that's kind of ironic because I got the movie Pimpology. But the reason why I did the movie Pimpology, brother, it was because, you know, I was trying to glorify life. I was like, these motherfuckers say they HBO, they in the town, and they come around here, they filming us, they follow us everywhere, they going in the trenches with us. I said, it's got to be some money in this shit. So I started shooting my movie because I'm just a street nigga. I'm like, man, they're not gonna just eat off the block. I'm eating too, which I made millions of dollars off of that. You know what I'm saying? Me, and you know, so I didn't put it out. I finally put it out on YouTube after 25 years. I said, man, I'm just gonna throw it out. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I mean, whatever happened, it happened. But you know, a lot of times I kind of, you know, was reluctant to put it out because I knew that it was influential and that it was influenced a lot of young niggas, you know what I'm saying, to get into the game. And it's pimping, man. You know, those of us who really pimp, it's not for everybody, man. This shit got to be in you, not on you, man. Right. You can't wear this shit like no t-shirt, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, this shit, man, hoes are very, very manipulative. Hoes are very dirty. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a dirty mind, you can't really pimp on the hoe, man. You got to have the mentality of the bitch in order to break the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, the bitch, she'll flip you. Because the Bible says, you know what I'm saying, in the book of Genesis, you know, the fall of man. What was the fall of man? It was about a bitch named Eve trying to deceive a nigga named Adam. You know what I'm saying? So she played him, and he went for the okie doke. Now, God pulls up, hey, man, what's happening, Adam? What you doing? Hey, man, that you gave me, man, you know, she deceived me, man. You know what I'm saying? Me, oh, why thou naked? You know what I'm saying? Because now he know he naked. He ain't supposed to know that because that's eating from what they call the tree of knowledge. So all that shit started from a bitch. So if you go back in the history of mankind, you know what I'm saying? It's always been a female, you know, Cleopatra, you know what I'm saying? Queen Elizabeth, there's been the dominance in the fall of men. You know what I'm saying? It's always been a woman that's been the fall of a man. So we got to understand, you know, dealing with this pimping, man, is not easy. You know, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to ask you a question. And so me, man, you know, and niggas say, Ken, why would you think you was a great pimp? Well, when I was young, brother, my babysitter, she molested me. You know what I'm saying? She you know, she was playing with my penis and doing all kind of weird, crazy, goofy gang shit. And, you know, so that made me just have some type of traumatic trauma. That when I went to penitentiary, I love my mama. I just left her. She left me for dead. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't come see me. You know what I'm saying? She went to see my brother all the time. She didn't come see me. So that kind of made me have a disdain for my mama and have a disdain for bitches. So I was an easy candidate for pimping. You know what I mean? The trauma that I went through, you know, all of the, you know, the molestation, you know, the abandonment, you know, that I felt from my mama. You know what I'm saying? It just made me just really hard on the hoe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you know, like I said, I'm matching with no passion for my ration. So when a bitch, you know, have a complaint, tell me her feet hurt, or she tell me she tired, I'll say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Me, you know, yeah, but you got some more money to get a pimp though, hoe. You know what I'm saying? Me, you know, you need to really get out there and pat some feet on the concrete. You know what I mean? Because I need mine right now. And you know, a lot of my partners say, "Man, you ever love me?" I said, "No, man, I never had no love in the shit because I, you know, first of all, I'm saying to myself, if this bitch say she my bitch, and she say she love me, and she go out the door every day and suck on the dick and catch a trick, you know what I'm saying? And you doing this every day, willfully, you know what I'm saying, with no, you know, no strings attached. Then you telling me that you love me. Well, if you love me, then don't go sell no pussy. Don't suck no dick. Stay here with daddy, bitch. You know what I'm saying? And tell me you love. But every day you go out that door, it's no love in that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you doing what you like to do, and I'm gonna do what I got to do. Because if I'm gonna love on something, you understand me, that's going out there and you being with this person, that person, then you know what I'm saying? Me, I must be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Me, if a nigga let his go out there and fucking suck every nigga in the world, and she come back and she tell you that she love you and you believe that shit, wait, man, listen, man, I got some fried ice cream for sale, man. I'm serious, man. You know.
That's hard. Fried ice cream is crazy. So listen, I was listening to the parties you always have in the Players Ball. I heard you mention $1,000 kicks, right? Tell us the importance of a pimp wearing a suit and why DJU felt like he had to wear a suit for this interview.
Hey man, because DJU, you're a seasonal professional. You're a consummate gentleman. You know what I mean? And that's what gentlemen do. You know what I'm saying? If I invite you into my house, if you smoke some chronic, I'm gonna have some chronic or some Zaza for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have some, you know, some Don Julio. You know, because I know you like Don Julio. You know, hey, if you invite Pimpin Ken, hey man, Pimpin Ken is a gentleman, man. You know, I got the gentleman up, and that's all it is. You know, but the purpose of the suit is like, you know, when I was young, I used to listen to all these pimps, right? Like I said, I grew up around the game, right? So my uncles and all of them was pimps and hustlers, right? So I used to listen to them sell these bitches dreams. And I'd be hearing them talking about, yeah, man, I'm gonna sell this bitch a dream, man. Listen, man, I gotta get in this whole head, man. I got to make this whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Me, bitch, you know that bitch, I can move mountains. So they think that's what they said in their head, right? And you know, me just figuring it out, man, you know, cause being that penitentiary gave me a lot of wisdom. I said, man, why should I sell a dream? I wanna be the dream. So when the bitch see me, I don't want to have to sell her, hey, bitch, we gonna get some jewelry. Hey, bitch, we gonna get mink coats. I'm pulling up with the Rolls Royce. I'm pulling up with the suits. I'm pulling up, and niggas was wondering why I kept knocking. They said, man, how can you keep knocking us for these bitches? Because the dream that you selling, the whole nigga, I'm the dream. You understand me? I got the black and white mink coat. I got the motherfucking big ass crown rings on. I got the motherfucking $100,000 bust down on. I got the Rolls Royce, the Benz, and the Cadillac, and everything else, the Maserati. I'm having all this shit that you selling this whole the dream for. So the, you understand me, if she got any sense, you know what I'm saying, the, you know, she know that, hey, if she got any sense, she'd jump on the other side of the fence, you know what I'm saying? And I was the other side of that fence, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, listen, man, this nigga here, he bullshit. So, you know, that's why we wore the jewelry. That's why we had the minks, because it was, you know, it made it what we call in the game, it says getting chose with your mouth closed. So that's why niggas, that's why, and even today in the business world, I wear a lot of suits because when people see me, you know, when I'm doing business for Boosie, you know, like Boosie, also one of my artists, you know, Rick Ross, you know, he's also signed to me with the movie. So when I'm doing business for these brothers and shit, and I'm sitting down and I'm negotiating with them, with these different corporations, when you got a suit on, it's different when you got a bunch of tattoos and, you know, your gold in your mouth and stuff like that. They stereotype us. That don't mean that you ain't no official dude. You can have all the tattoos, go and be smart as a you know, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You can be a scientist. But at the same time, when you're doing business, you know, the more successful you look, the more people take you serious. And
they treat you different when you wear a suit.
When I'm in the, man, when I go, like, I tried it, man. I tried to do the Steve Jobs, the black t-shirts and the jeans. That don't work for me. You know, when I put on them suits and I go up in there and I'm talking that king language and I'm speaking the king's language, I'm using proper diction and proper education. You know, and that's why a lot of people, you know, like Boosie and Ice-T, they like for me to go in there and talk for them. You know, if Ice-T will tell you, man, let that nigga Ken go talk. He'll tell you, man, let Ken talk. Ken gonna go get that bag. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, cause I'm gonna talk to him, and I ain't gonna wear shades. I'm gonna have my little personality glasses, my square glasses on, you know, and I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna be smiling, I'm gonna be popping that good game, and next thing I'm gonna walk off with that check every time, you know. So, you know, it's
the gift of gab.
Yeah, the gift of gab. So you can look at it, you know, the same way in the pimp and the same way you look in the business world. You know, the more successful you look, the more people you attract to you.
Right.
You know, if you look nice and you smell good, you got some Creed on, you know, you got, you know, your shoes and everything shining, you know, your suit, you know, crispy, you're gonna more than likely knock. You know, we was walking up the stairs, which what me and you, right? One of your camera guys, we was walking up the stairs. He said, "Oh, he looks so handsome. He looks so nice in the suit. You got to compliment." I don't even know this little girl. I don't know who she was. I don't know if she was with y'all, but she instantly complimented me. Now they got on suits and they got their outfits on too, but she didn't acknowledge them. She acknowledged the pimping, and that's what pimping understand. You understand me? You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying they ain't no pimping with them, but I'm just saying that's the science of the game.
I got it. Okay,
That's why I do it.
That's hard. I like the way you broke that down. Right.
Right.
So I'm listening to you talk about you know, knocking bitches from other pimps. You know, so like, what's the relationship amongst pimps and other pimps? Is it like a fraternity, or do it be like drama and beef between others?
Well, a lot of niggas like to say keep it pimping, keep it 100, right?
Right.
But nobody keeps it 100. They might keep it 75, but nobody keeps it 100.
Okay.
Deep down inside, niggas really got feelings for that bitch, you know what I'm saying? You know, they say they can handle it, you know what I'm saying? But when Pimpin Ken coming, I'm reach my hand out and they see Nakarachi is in the building, you understand? They know they about to get knocked. You know, they know I'm about to serve the news and blow their fuse, put their hoes up on some new rules. Then the whole thing changed. You know, now they got a problem with it. You know, like the one rapper says, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. You know what I mean? Until a real official pimp get their, you know what I'm saying? Me, it's no problem. So a lot of dudes, you know, we sign up to this game. When we sign up, we say, okay, yeah, if DJU knock me for a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Me, I supposed to accept it as a servant. And then once you serve me for the bitch, you know, you say, hey man, what's up, man? It's DJU, man. You can break the plate on that hoe, man. That hoe don't eat that no more. You know, she under some DJU pimping. I supposed to accept that. That's the rules. It's a non-contact sport. It's not the NBA, it's the NPA, the National Pimp Association. You dig what I'm saying? And there's no contact, no fouls, no pushing, no shoving, none of that shit in the game, right? But you know, a lot of times, you know, when dudes don't got the, they got the ABCs and they got the XYZs, they get knocked for a bitch. They feeling is there. And that's why you hear about pimps getting killed on the track. You hear about pimps getting shot and stuff like that, because a lot of dudes can't stomach this game. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard thing, man. You know how many times, bro, that I had these pretty Asian, pretty white bitches, man, look like, you know, goddess and shit, you know what I'm saying? And they decide they want to go choose up another pimp. And the nigga called me and I'm on the other line and I'm getting that phone call. He said, man, I didn't knock you for the bitch. You know what I'm saying? And I got to say, yeah, man, you know, we're happy pimping to you, man. I'm going to see you 2 bottles of throat, 2 bottles of moist so I keep you and that whole throat wet. You dig what I'm saying? You got to say something slick, make it seem like ain't no problem. Yeah, man, you need these clothes, man. You need the ID. What you need from this bitch, you know what I mean? And that's how the game's supposed to go. It's supposed to be a sport. But like I said, everybody ain't gonna take it that way. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, in my career span over 40 years, you know, I've never missed pimp or I never been unpimped like when I got peeled for a bitch. I always accepted. But I have peeled more bitches than I got knocked for. So, you know, I have encountered one dude, you know, he's like, yeah. I said, man, what's up, man? Why you tripping, man, about this bitch, man? I said, man, check this out, man. Check your email. I'm just going to email you, tell you I got the bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'd say some crazy shit like that, you know, and just with niggas, and they like, yeah, you know, man, you know, like I said, man, you know, I'm not in a gang, but I come from a gangster town. So I'm with the shit, you know what I mean? So if a nigga just violate my P, I'm going to pick up that motherfucking G. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get gangster real quick. So, you know, I mean, I hope that a nigga can accept the pimping, but when a nigga didn't accept it, you know what I'm saying? You know, in some cases, you know, you might have to, you know, take a nigga, slap him around, you know, pistol whip him or something, you know, let him know, like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm still a man, you know what I mean? But in most cases, you know, thank God, you know, niggas can accept the pimping, you know? So, like I said, I might have had 3-4 incidents, man, in 40 years where, you know, I had to check a nigga about a my man, may get free Pimp Snooki. Me and him, we had got into it about we didn't get into it about a. So I knocked him for a white, right? And me and JD, Snooki, I went to serve him. He said, "Man, meet me." I was serving. We was by this little spot over here on Center Street, and he had his partner with. I seen the gun in the car. The motherfucker had like a shotgun. So I said, "Oh, these niggas, you know what I'm saying? They got guns and shit, right?" And so I talked to him and explained to him, and he accepted it, right? But then one of my hoes, Tracy, said, Snooki came by the room and he got the bitch. So he got the bitch, you know what I'm saying? And I said, okay, he served me back. I said, yeah, okay. So that later on that night, he put the bitch back down. I knocked him again for the same white bitch. I knocked him again for the same white bitch. So, those are little things like that, that we had little situations and shit. Now, I don't know, Snooki say that the bitch chose back up. Say that he just came to the room and got the bitch. I didn't give a fuck what happened, you know what I'm saying? Just as long as the bitch just me checking in them dividends, you know what I'm saying? So, I kept the bitch for about a year, and then I called Snoop. I said, say, man, this bitch, you understand me, man? She ready to go. He went and got the bitch, and he shot up to the sky. He got about 17, 18 deep, you know what I'm saying? Because I gave that bitch proper instructions. I mashed on that funky hunky, you understand what I'm saying? So, those were some good instances, you know what I mean? Like I said, that shit could have went bad, because, like I said, I seen some shit that was kind of crazy, but, I got a lot of examples, but, he would be the best example, those would be the best example of the back and forth of knocking the bitch and the shit, the ups and downs of the things that go through, when niggas go through and how niggas play it, you know what I'm saying?
So, it was two things that you mentioned earlier in our conversation that stood out. You talked about being molested at a young age, and you talked about when you went to jail, your mom's wasn't there for you. So I imagine that kind of affected your respect for women.
Yeah,
Would you say that?
Yeah. And if you talk to most pimps, they got similar stories. Like even on my podcast, I got a podcast called View from the Game. And I asked every woman on there, have you ever been molested? Out of about 15 women that we interviewed, I think maybe one said they weren't molested.
Right.
And a lot of guys, if it ain't molestation, it's a lot of dudes, they've been abandoned by their mama. Because I always tell people, we all got abandonment issues. You got more, if it's 5 or 6 of y'all in the family. When Tony was born, you know what I'm saying, he the first child. When Bobby come, Bobby end up had to be pampered and held and protected and treated and nurtured. So, the first child get, neglected. Then the second child comes, then the first and second two child. So that's abandonment issues that we suffering that we don't know. So a lot of times that lingers in our psyche.
Yep.
And so we end up, acting out upon that. And we don't know why we acting out upon that. A lot of pimps, you know what I'm saying, they feel abandoned, abandoned. So it's hard for them to fall in love with a hoe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if your mama abandoned you, you know what I'm saying, or a parent or somebody in the family, it's hard for you to get into a relationship because you say, man, I'm never going to fall in love again, or I'm never going to allow myself to fall in that trap because the minute I say I love them, this person's going to leave me and abandon me also. Yep. So, pimps got to, they got to put this shield on to make themselves feel like, like, man, I'm stronger than steel, so and that was I was that person. Yep. I felt abandoned, you know what I'm saying? So I acted, like a person that had abandonment issues, being molested, by a lady at that young age, you know what I'm saying? I hated all black bitches and all fat bitches, so she's a fat black bitch, you know what I'm saying? And, it was just, and people said, man, you like slim bitches? I said, because it had a lot to do with my psyche.
Right,
I was traumatized by a bigger,
exactly.
heavy, dark-skinned sister. So, but once I figured out what was wrong with me, I kind of like, I'm more functional now. But like I didn't know what was going on until I was like 54. I figured out. I called my mama and said, I know what happened to me, and she was like, what happened? I said, that lady, because it came through. I was talking to this girl, and she was talking about how her cousins was raping her, and the uncles, they was all taking turns on her, and she was talking about raping and shit like that. She said she was a little bitty girl, and it just hit me, bam. It's been in my head all this time, but I've been kind of suppressing that shit, right? So it just came out, and that's when I called my mama, and then that's when it seemed like a ton of bricks was relieved for me. I said, "Oh, okay, I know what the fuck is going on. I know why I was so hardcore. I know why, I shoot a nigga in a minute. I know why, I didn't play. It was all that shit that fucked my head up that was suppressed inside of me that made me wicked. You know what I'm saying? And almost like a devil. It was a demon inside of me. Yeah, it was a demon inside of me. And that's what happened to a lot of these young men. It might not have been a woman. It might have been a man that raped them, brother. It might have been some other shit that happened to them. And they not just acting out impulsively. It's stuff that's going on. Mental health is really serious in our community. They talk about going to the Army for 5 years. You can live on 63rd. That's post-traumatic stress disorder. You hear guns popping all day. Imagine what the little kids is going through as youngsters, hearing this. So, me being a 60-year-old man and figuring it out on my own, just being an analytical type person, I know that a lot of these brothers is suffering from this trauma. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to say it because it's not masculine to admit, your trauma. You know what I'm saying? But unless you admit it, unless you fess up to it, it's going to be difficult for you to navigate through life. You know what I'm saying, me? And now that, me being the CEO and the, the founder of the hip hop fraternity, which Jay, he's one of my chapter members. He's one of my members too. And Vado, he's my COO. Being a member, having all these brothers, that's a member of the hip hop fraternity, I try to, enunciate that to them on a daily basis. Man, it's okay to, to deal with your demons. It's okay to, to be forthcoming, to bring that out. Because if you don't, it's going to destroy you. Bro, I'm telling you, man, and I'm not saying this to sound tough. At one time, man, I would kill you in a minute. I had no sympathy in my heart by niggas. You know what I'm saying? Me and my partners, we was talking about this. They like, man, if you get in our business, man, I remember, man, we chased niggas everywhere. We did all kind of crazy shit. I can't talk about shit, but we did all kind of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Me, and I didn't have no passion about it. But I was suffering from the demons that was in me. And I think that's what's happening with our young people.
That is what's happening.
Yeah.
You just hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
Mr. Popular phrase these young kids be saying, this nigga spitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm very grateful that you just shared that with us, because let me share something with you, right? We interview a lot of female sex workers. So a lot of porn stars, OnlyFans girls, stuff like that. And after I interviewed several of them, that's when I learned that the common denominator between all of these is molestation.
Yeah, molestation.
Every young lady that we've interviewed that do porn or strip or, any type of sexual activity, they were molested at a young age. So to talk to a pimp and learn that he shared the same common denomination, it kind of be like, okay, this is a problem in our black community that we don't talk about. You know what I'm saying?
I interviewed 15 women. All of them damn near said they was molested.
Yeah,
you know
I heard
what I'm saying? Before we go to the, call my man, Mr. Rick, the OG, I got my man, Too Real, 414, man. He's killing on the internet. He got millions and millions of streams. Man, let them know your action, Jack.
Man, listen, when you hear, hey, check this out, boss, hey, check this out, baby, that's like my slogan. I got cosigns from everybody, Deion Sanders, Snoop Dogg share my stuff, Master P, Wallow. I'd have been on Boss Talk. I'd have been on podcasts, Witty, everywhere. And what I'm doing is
Ugly Money.
Ugly Money. I'd have been on Ugly Money. I'm just basically out here pushing common sense again and showing people like the biggest failures in life is what we fail to unlearn. Because a lot of people be always focused on what they need to learn, but it's really about what you need to unlearn. I've been in and out from 1999 to 2024. I just spent 16 years of my life in prison, in and out for being a real nigga. And I know real nigga don't get you shit but scars. You don't get trophies for it or nothing. So I'm really just giving niggas the raw and uncut, man. If y'all type in 2Real414 on every social media, you will definitely hear a lot about me. And before I get up out of here, I had a question for you. You said you was King Von DJ, right? You was his DJ?
Yeah, but I ain't trying to talk about Vaughn right now.
Oh no, I ain't trying to talk about him either. But I was just trying to speak to like a lot of situations just touch me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we had speak about it on a different topic. But
Go ahead with your question though.
My
I just
question-
wanted to keep this about Pimpin Ken. I
Yeah.
didn't want to make it about King.
Yeah,
Von,
yeah.
that's
No,
all.
I ain't want. Okay, my question was just more like that night. Like, was you there? Like,
Okay, no, I don't want.
you weren't there. You want to talk about that? Because I was just so basically. Look, man, I want to definitely tap in with you, and we can rock. I definitely got a lot of stuff going on, and it just feel good to be able to collab and connect with everybody, man. But like I say, Pimpin Ken, we've been rocking now with the HSF, the hip hop fraternity. I got a lot of stuff in store, man. I just want y'all to really stay tuned. Like I say, DJU, I like what you got going on.
Appreciate
I
it.
watched a lot of your interviews. Like I told you off camera, I like how you hold your poise and firm. You know what I'm saying? I really like that.
Appreciate
You know
it,
what I'm
gang.
saying?
For
No,
sure.
for real. Just because it's inspiring. You know what I'm saying? To see how people handle themselves in real life, in real time.
Yeah.
By versus it just, you know what I'm saying, some scripted. So I done seen you in some situations. You handled yourself very well.
Appreciate
Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Pimpin Ken.
All
Appreciate
right,
you,
man.
boss.
Thanks for
Finna get
riding
up
with
here.
us, B.
Tap
For
in.
that. For
Say
that.
less.
We got my man, Mr. Rick,
Who's this? Who I hand this to?
Chicago. I got it. Mr. Rick from Chicago gonna come, man. You know, he gonna confirm a lot of these things that we talk about. You know what I'm saying? He got the OGs. You know, he interviewed a lot of hustlers, man, from back in the day.
Mr. Rick.
And
Mr. Rick.
Chicago's on.
Well, welcome to DJUTV, Mr. Rick. How you doing today?
Fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm blessed.
My man.
Glad to be in the presence of so many players, some older gentlemen that can teach me some games.
Well, that's what we're here for. That's what my show is about. You know, the original OGs. I'm the host, OG Mr. Rick. This is my 100-year friend right here, OG Mr. Ken. Y'all call him Pimpin Ken. I call him Ken Ivy, OG Ken Ivy. You know, I mean, that's his name. He go by many titles, but that's what we're trying to do today. The show that I have is to be able to pass information from guys like Ken Ivy to younger guys that can really study our roadmap to see what we've gone through so that you can avoid a lot of it and get straight to the meat of it. That's what it's all about.
Word.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. And what's the name of your YouTube channel again?
It's called The Original OGs.
The Original OG. So I think I need everybody to subscribe to
Right away.
to Mr. Rick's YouTube channel right now. It's called The Original OGs. I'm actually gonna type it in right now myself
It's crazy, man.
so I can subscribe.
Tell them to subscribe to my podcast.
Right, for
too.
sure. You tell them.
Okay, y'all subscribe to Pimpin Ken
He brought me here.
podcast. Pimpin Ken podcast. You know, y'all subscribe to that. That's I just did a interview with Charleston White, Gangster Williams. You know, a lot of people that you interviewed. You know, I seen him interview them. I thought they'd be good people to interview.
Yeah.
We got Fillmore Slim, Mr. Rick, a lot of the OG players. You know, and a lot of young players. So you know. Rick, he focused on the OGs, and I focus on the OGs and the YGs. You know, I believe that, you know, young people got something to say too. So, you know, if you're young and you're doing something, you got something going on, reach out. You know, you can hit me in the DM at realpimpken_. But like I said, you know, just go to my podcast, Pimpin Ken Podcast. It's called A View for the Game. And check me and Mr. Rick out on there. It's one of the best episodes, one of the most numbers too.
Very impactful.
I'm looking at the Original OGs right now. I see an interview with Triple OG Archbishop Don Magic Juan.
Without a doubt.
You know, that's one of the more polarized pimps that we know
Chicago.
about, you know, from Chicago. So yeah, Mr. Rick, I'm glad you came and, you know, bless our couch with your presence. We'd definitely
Yes,
like
sir.
to talk to you and, you know, get to know
without a
your
doubt.
story one day as well, right? But one more question that I want to ask, and you all could answer this collectively, or, you know, Pimpin Ken, you can answer it yourself. But, you know, it's 2024. So we don't hear too much about, you know, niggas pimping hoes and getting money. Nowadays, it's kind of like reverse. Well,
right.
these women want the money. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So what do you think about guys paying for pussy in 2024?
Well, you know, the Bible said the first will finish last and the last will finish first, you know. And sometimes, you know, the roles get reversed. And I think a lot of these guys, they tend under the zipper, you know what I'm saying? Which means, you know, they got low tolerance, you know. in their little head than they do in their big head. And that can cause a serious problem because everybody love coochie because we all came from coochie. The fact that we came from coochie, you know, we naturally want to get back in some coochie. You know what I'm saying? That's your first place. That's you there for 9 months. You know what I'm saying? That's your first house. So, you know, women have done exactly what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? They have debased these high value men. You know, they have made men subservient to, you know, their bodies. You know, that's why they go get fake eyelashes, fake nails, fake butts, fake boobs, everything fake. You know, and we fall into that trap. You know, and a lot of us, you know, still, you know, using our big head, we use our little head, and at all costs. You know, so most of us are willing to pay for it. And so the guys of my day, the pimps, you know, the players and the hustlers, you know, they fading away like a Michael Jordan jump shot. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's almost like a magic trick. You know, they disappearing. And these women, you know, they won the battle. You know, they started with the woman liberation movement in 1920 with Susan B. Anthony. Then you had the black woman liberation movement in the 70s where, you know, you start seeing black women dressed like white men, cut their hair and talk about they don't need no black man. You know, so you see this process beginning. And I think that we at the apex, but we at the epitome of it now because a lot of women are, you know, controlling the situation. They call them, you know, alpha females, you know what I'm saying? And brothers is going for it. You know, and one of the reasons, Brother DJU, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to relate to this wholeheartedly because you interview a lot of women, you say, one of the reasons is that the women have been raising the children. When you talk about what's going on O Block and all that shit that you hear about, the drills in New York, and that's because the women are raising the killers. There's no father in the home. Yep. You know, by not being no father home, there's no Adam apple. The Adam apple is what controls the household. Sit your butt down. When your daddy tell you sit down, you sit down. Your mama, sit down, she got to tell you 10 or 15 times. That's just like in the jungle. The lion is what controls the lion. But you say the lion, you know, when you roar, elephants and giraffe get to running like a motherfucker. But nobody understands it's the roar that makes him the king of the jungle. It's not his claw or his teeth. Well, it's the Adam apples that make the man the father of the house. It make him the leader of the household. So with the absence of the man, you have a generation where in Chicago, you got over 10,000 people that got killed in the last 10 years, you know, because it's just running rampant because the mothers cannot raise the children. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of these guys is taking on femininity. They act like, you know, when you're young, you try on your daddy tie. You use your daddy shave. When the daddy ain't there, you trying on your mama heels. You know what I'm saying? You put on your mama wig. You know what I'm saying? So you picking up femininity, you get a lot of, you know, what they would say homosexual tendencies that you don't even know that they're homosexual. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that's happening real time in the black community. So but without that male figure there, and that female got a son that's 6'10", she tell him, sit your butt down, and she controlling him, and the authority is coming from the female, men are losing their value. You know what I'm saying? Because the women are being the ones that saying that I'm your mama and your daddy, which is really insane. Because if you my mama and my daddy, okay, mama, go on the island by yourself and let me know what's going to happen in 100 years. You're going to be extinct because you can't reproduce yourself. You know, you need a male figure in the household. And being that male figure is not there, these women then took control. And that's what they want. That's what I go back to our initial conversation, Brother DJ. You think about the Bible. Right. The fall of what? Man. Read it. Go get the Bible. You can put
it right there in Genesis.
It says the fall of man. And in the fall of man is about Eve, Adam and Eve. Yeah. That's what the story is about. So the challenge and the competitiveness between the man and the female has been going on since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? A woman has one purpose on this life, and that's to challenge you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And if you let her, she'll break you. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's taught to our children. You know, mothers teach their daughters, hey, find your rich man, find your doctor, find your lawyer, find a successful man. That's pimping. You know, so they're teaching them to be gold diggers at a very young age. So by the time they get to me and you, they're trying to get something out of us. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I said, men naturally like to release. You know, anytime you have a situation where the male and the female that's married having a problem is always about sex. When they go to a therapist, they say, "What's your problem?" They say, "Sex. We don't have sex no more." You know what I'm saying? Sex is not in the family. So think about this. This one guy, he went to a therapist. He said, "Man, I had this problem. Me and my wife about to divorce." He said, "What's the problem?" He said, "She won't give me no sex." He said, "I got the same problem." You know what I'm saying?
He's the psychologist.
He's the psychologist. He got the same problem. And that's the problem with women, man. They use sex as a weapon, right? And so what we do is, you know what I'm saying, if we marry, we go and we dip off. You know what I'm saying? We get the little thought, you know what I'm saying, the hole over there. You know what I'm saying? Then we pay her a little money. You dig what I'm saying? And that's how we do it. You know what I'm saying? We you know, it all got to do with a whole bunch of shit, but I'm giving you like the synopsis version.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure I do. For sure I do. I appreciate it, man. Pimpin Ken, this has been a great conversation. You know, I'm so blessed that you were able to come grace our couch today. But for the young men that's listening, you know, they probably got a pimp bone in their body they haven't found yet. You know, what's some advice you can give to them?
Well, man, all I gotta tell you, man, you know, pimping is a school for boys. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you got to graduate. You know what I'm saying? You know, real pimping is when somebody tell you if you don't pay your taxes by April 15th, you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Sam is the biggest pimp. In every situation, there's a pimp and a hoe. You know what I'm saying? You know, Mark Zuckerberg is the pimp. Everybody on IG, you know, Facebook is the hoes. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk is the pimp. Everybody on X or Twitter is the hoes. You need to find something that you can do where you can pimp and you can receive the money. Because America's a big ass pussy ready to get fucked. You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out how do you come up with innovative, ingenious ideas to create a business where you can pimp that situation. So when you hear me say, my DVD is my pimp, my hoe. I say my books is my hoes. They don't argue, they don't fight, they don't choose no other pimp. They give me my money. I don't have no problem about them hoes. You know what I'm saying? Anything I do that I make money, that's my hoe. You know what I'm saying? And I look at it like that instead of, you know, trying to pimp on a female. So I could tell a young man, you know, they want to do something, do what you're doing, Mr. You. You know what I'm saying? Go to YouTube. You know, YouTube is a very profitable business. You know, if you play it right, you do it right, you get the right guests and you get the right content, you know what I mean? And, you know, your analytics and your numbers is up there, you're going to see some residuals. So, you know, that you're pimping the YouTube.
Pimping YouTube.
You know, DJUTV, you pimping it. You know what I'm saying? And it's that bitch pay good, don't she?
For
That's
sure.
a good hoe, right?
So best hoe I ever
she
had.
Pay every month on.
I
right?
can't lose this hoe.
Every month on.
I wish
right?
a motherfucker would try to knock this hoe off.
Nah,
me.
can't nobody peel the bitch. The bitch is unpeelable. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's no way they can get it. And that's what I want young men to do. You know, as the founder of the hip hop fraternity, you know, and having over 10,000 members in 35 states and 100 executives, you know, my message has always been, you know, to understand that, man, we got to practice group economics. We got to practice group politics. We got to understand, you know, what ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, TuneCore, NFTs, NFCs, you know, all of these things, cryptology, the blockchain. We got to understand what's going on and understand what's happening in contemporary society. Yep. Because if we don't, we're going to get lost in the sauce. Because 85% of the wealth of this country has been locked, sealed, boxed, and keyed by people from England. You know what I'm saying? What I mean is that everybody over here are descendants of the English. You know what I'm saying? You know, their parents are either from Berlin or, you know, some part of England or some part of Germany, somewhere in European society. Mm-hmm. So they locked and sealed and boxed all the property because they used to have little land contracts and they used to pay them land to move over here. So that land is owned and secured by them. So 85% of the wealth is 15% of wealth left. And that's through YouTubes, that's through streaming, that's through the internet, the fourth industrial revolution. So we have to acclimate ourselves to what's going on from that perspective. We got to figure out how do we curate and how do we get connected into this cyber economy, you know what I mean, where we can get some of the money. You You know, because every business that you look at, brother, it's like you look at your company. You know, DJUTV. It's functioning on existing infrastructure. YouTube existed before you even decided to, you know, Sony cameras and all that existed, Canons, all these cameras existed, so you're winning on existing infrastructure. You're doing the same thing that Jeff Bezos did. Jeff Bezos started Amazon, but he didn't own the books. He went and got existing books. He didn't own Window links. That's all Window means is links. So he got with Window, and he put the links. He put the links behind the books. And when you click, it goes to an e-commerce. E-commerce was an existing infrastructure. All this stuff existed, but it caused him to be one of the richest men in the world. Uber is an existing infrastructure. If Dre and I is within a 5-mile radius, because we're sharing our location with Uber, Uber can say, hey, look, I know from based on my data that Dre is 5 minutes away from you, so you should probably have Dre come pick you up, and Dre going to give you $5, and Uber going to take $1 off of it.
Right.
An existing infrastructure. So it's no way that we have an excuse that we can't make no money because everything is already in place for us.
Right.
You know, through window links, you know, through locations. Because if you come up with something that requires a shared location like a Lyft or, you know, Uber Eats or whatever, you know, people coming up with. If it shows your location, you can eat off of it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you can come up with YouTubes, you know what I'm saying? YouTube ain't nothing, you know, the money is in the content.
Yep.
Brother's like, man, I can't get no. I told the brother the other day, I said, man, listen, if you got 1,000 videos on YouTube and they get $1 a piece, that's $1,000 a day, that's $30,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to put the work in. You got to go put up 1,000 videos. You got to put up a lot of content. You know, YouTube provide that. And then it's an ad-based company, so it's based on advertisement. As the brother was speaking earlier, if you put the advertisement in the first 3 minutes of YouTube, you're going to eat. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, you got to follow their rules. You know, you got to, you know, don't just push monetization. Put a list, and then, you know, you can see if it's yellow, green, or red. Then you can push, you know, a publish then. You know, so this is just the basic game that, you know, we can learn. You know what I'm saying? And then niggas like, man, I ain't finna put niggas up on YouTube game. Man, it's 1 billion people on YouTube. It's advantageous for you to put your brother up on it because that's a high prospect that he's not going to be robbing you. He's not going to be at your door with the pistol. If you put all your homies up on the game, you know what I'm saying? Niggas will ride up and down Halstead. Niggas will ride up and down Madison getting content.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I've proposed to a few major podcasting companies. I said, look, man, let's syndicate it. Let's put Pimpin Ken over there on DJUTV, and then we can share, since we can look at the analytics and we can see what it's making, let's share that profit. And if we did all that, if we came together on that level and everybody shared the content and everybody, like if you could go check out my stuff on DJU and you can take, if I'm sharing the profits the same day YouTube's doing it. YouTube, they sharing the ad money with you, so we can share the money that we get because you got 200-300 1 million subscribers. Now we can bust down. And that's what I told Boss Talk. I told to Real Life Street. I've been talking to all the podcasts.
Right.
I said, man, we need to syndicate this shit, man. As black men, you know, this is an opportunity that we never had before. The money is real time. They pay. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no BS. You know, let's syndicate our shows and let's share content, you know, and let's promote and push each other.
Yep. Well, you know, I'm with it, you know. That's what I do here at my platform, you know. I give people the opportunity to express their thoughts, share their story, you know. And everybody go home happy at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Everybody eats, you feel me? We ain't doing nothing for no reason.
Hey, you ain't no joke. hey, you break bread with a nigga, man. Hey, podcasters, y'all better get like DJU, man. He ain't trying to manipulate, play a nigga, man. A lot of y'all be thinking y'all slick. Like we don't know what kind of money y'all getting, man. Come on now, man. Go on with that, man.
We don't play no games, and one thing about me, I don't play with nobody money. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's it. Hey, you put that Zelle come through when you say that. You see that DJU Zelle? Hey, that's real money there.
Well, thanks again, Pimpin Ken. Man, this was a blessing.
Gonna make me say a few things.
Go ahead, Mr. Rick, close us out.
Oh, well, I'll close you out. I'll just say, you know, it's a pleasure to have met you. Perhaps with the permission of my friend, I'll come back and do your show.
For sure.
I'd like to tell the audience, to look for the original OGs. It's up and running. It's doing numbers. The information is very powerful. What I call our show, I call it the American Black Bible.
Okay.
Because we give a platform to the unheard.
Okay.
We want to tell the Black history that people have been afraid to tell.
Right.
And that's what we do. We got people like Minister Rico, like you said.
Don Dirk.
Yeah, Don Dirk. I mean, Swan. I mean, man, I'd be here all day telling
Bishop Don Juan.
Bishop Don Juan, Big Daddy Kane, Jesse Jackson,
Pimpin Ken.
Pimpin Ken.
The original OGs.
Yeah, this my man, $100,000. Though,
For sure.
You understand
For
what I'm saying? We've traveled the same road, and we've ended up in the same space. But like he was saying now, it's about trying to use the platforms and the media to turn some of this stuff around. He tells his stories because he wants to prevent people from falling into traps that we fell in our lives.
Yep.
We want you to be able to be successful. Go straight to the gusto. You don't have to do all these sidebars, man, because I tell you right now, you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
You take that for what it's worth. But tune in to the original OGs. You're going to see all of us there. Hey, man, it's a beautiful thing. We're giving information that you're not going to get anywhere else. You'll be glad that you did. I've enjoyed you. I'd like to come back sometime, man. Hey, you're going to continuously see me and OG Ken Ivy, man, doing our thing. So,
I just want to close out, brother. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, man, make sure y'all tune in to my podcast. Pimpin Ken podcast, we just did a thing with Gangsta William. I let everybody know I gave Lil Wayne his first shot of, sex, real sex. Baby, I taught Baby the Pimp game. We talk about all that stuff, a lot of people don't understand that all these relationships that I got with these people go back, years and years and years, so, when you go and you check out my show, you're going to see me and Rick talking about some of the things. So I want y'all to definitely tune in to Pimpin Ken podcast. Also, and DJ, I'm inviting you live on camera. We have the HHF Awards. I would like to invite you to the HHF Awards, HHF Ugly Money Awards. And we got a lot of special guests. It's going to be in Atlanta,
Just tell
Georgia.
me when. You ain't got
April 7th. April 7th at the atrium. At the atrium.
And ATL?
I want to give you. I want to award you. Give you award. Give you your flowers too. So it's going to be at the atrium in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's April 7th. It's a lot of people. Sauce Walker going to be there. Performance by East Side Boys. Remember Lil Johnny East Side Boys? They're going to be there. Crime Mob. We Buck When We Nuck. My man Lil J and his sister. And we got DJ Walk It Out, and Young LA, Ain't I with T.I. and Young Dro. So it's gonna be a good, Atlanta takeover. Then we have a tribute with my man 17, Pimp C. We have performance by my man. I don't know if you heard that song, Throw That Ass in a Circle.
Yeah,
remember that
Ronnie.
song? Yeah, Lonnie and the other dude on there is my artist that I just signed. A brother by the name of Mike Fresh. So he's going to do a little concert too. It bounce when she claps. So it's going to be a lot of, heavy hitters, my son, Supreme, Ditto, Dre, my main man, all of them, everybody, everybody going to be there. Cash, can't forget Cash. Cash going to be there. And then Ugly Money is going to be there with his artists too. China Monet, Yellow Boy, all of them. So it's going to be a big event. And I want you to come. We're going to definitely give you an award. We're going to make sure you VIP, treat you like you treated me, bro.
For sure. Appreciate the invite. We'll be there April 7th.
April 7th. Love.
For sure.
We're going to get a drop from you, too, so we can let everybody, If you go to my page, my Instagram, you see we do drops for everybody that's going to be there.
That's what's up, man. Well, look, shout out to Words Heat Productions. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out Animosity Speaks. Make sure you shop AMSTYSpeaks.com. DJ, you go crazy. Out.
DJ, you go crazy.